Paper 119. The Bestowals of Christ Michael. Chief of the Evening Stars of Nebadon, I am assigned to Urantia by Gabriel on the mission of revealing the story of the 7 bestowals of the Universe Sovereign, Michael of Nebadon, and my name is Gavalia. In making this presentation, I will adhere strictly to the limitations imposed by my commission. The attribute of bestowal is inherent in the Paradise Sons of the Universal Father. In their desire to come close to the life experiences of their subordinate living creatures, the various orders of the Paradise Sons are reflecting the divine nature of their Paradise parents. The Eternal Son of the Paradise Trinity led the way in this practice, having 7 times bestowed himself upon the 7 circuits of Avona during the times of the ascension of Grand Fonda and the first of the pilgrims from time and space. And the Eternal Son continues to bestow himself upon the local universes of space in the persons of his representatives, the Michael and Avanal Sons. When the Eternal Son bestows a Creator Son upon a projected local universe, that Creator Son assumes full responsibility for the completion, control, and composure of that new universe, including the solemn oath to the Eternal Trinity not to assume full sovereignty of the new creation until his 7 creature bestowals shall have been successfully completed and certified by the Ancients of Days of the super-universe of jurisdiction. This obligation is assumed by every Michael Son who volunteers to go out from Paradise to engage in universe organization and creation. The purpose of these creature incarnations is to enable such creators to become wise, sympathetic, just, and understanding sovereigns. These divine sons are innately just, but they become understandingly merciful as a result of these successive bestowal experiences. They are naturally merciful, but these experiences make them merciful in new and additional ways. These bestowals are the last steps in their education and training for the sublime tasks of ruling the local universes in divine righteousness and by just judgment. Though numerous incidental benefits accrue to the various worlds, systems, and constellations, as well as to the different orders of universe intelligences affected and benefited by these bestowals, still they are primarily designed to complete the personal training and universe education of a Creator Son himself. These bestowals are not essential to the wise, just, and efficient management of a local universe, but they are absolutely necessary to a fair, merciful, and understanding administration of such a creation, teeming with its varied forms of life and its myriads of intelligent but imperfect creatures. The Michael Sons begin their work of universe organization with a full and just sympathy for the various orders of beings whom they have created. They have vast stores of mercy for all these differing creatures, even pity for those who err and flounder in the selfish mire of their own production. But such endowments of justice and righteousness will not suffice in the estimate of the Ancients of Days. These triune rulers of the super-universes will never certify a Creator Son as universe sovereign until he has really acquired the viewpoint of his own creatures by actual experience in the environment of their existence, and as these very creatures themselves. In this way, such sons become intelligent and understanding rulers. They come to know the various groups over which they rule and exercise universe authority. By living experience they possess themselves of practical mercy, fair judgment, and the patience born of experiential creature existence. The local universe of Nebadon is now ruled by a Creator Son who has completed his service of bestowal. He reigns in just and merciful supremacy over all the vast realms of his evolving and perfecting universe. Michael of Nebadon is the 611,121st bestowal of the Eternal Son upon the universes of time and space, and he began the organization of your local universe about 400 billion years ago. Michael made ready for his first bestowal adventure about the time Urantia was taking its present form 1 billion years ago. His bestowals have occurred about 150 million years apart, the last taking place on Urantia 1900 years ago. I will now proceed to unfold the nature and character of these bestowals as fully as my commission permits. 1. The first bestowal. It was a solemn occasion on Salvington almost 1 billion years ago, when the assembled directors and chiefs of the universe of Nebadon heard Michael announce that his elder brother, Emmanuel, would presently assume authority in Nebadon, while he, Michael, would be absent on an unexplained mission. No other announcement was made about this transaction except that the farewell broadcast to the Constellation Fathers, among other instructions, said, "And for this period I place you under the care and keeping of Emmanuel, while I go to do the bidding of my Paradise Father," just as on many previous occasions when preparing for departure to Uversa or Paradise, except that he came alone. He concluded his statement of departure with these words, "I leave you but for a short season. Many of you I know would go with me, but whither I go you cannot come. That which I am about to do you cannot do. I go to do the will of the Paradise deities, and when I have finished my mission and have acquired this experience, I will return to my place among you." And having thus spoken, Michael of Nebadon vanished from the sight of all those assembled, and did not reappear for 20 years of standard time. In all Salvington only the divine minister and Emmanuel knew what was taking place, and the Union of Days shared his secret only with the chief executive of the universe, Gabriel, the bright and morning star. All of the inhabitants of Salvington, and those dwelling on the constellation and system headquarters worlds, assembled about their respective receiving stations for universe intelligence, hoping to get some word of the mission and whereabouts of the Creator's Son. Not until the 3rd day after Michael's departure was any message of possible significance received. On this day, a communication was registered on Salvington from the Melchizedek sphere, the headquarters of that order in Nebadon, which simply recorded this extraordinary and never-before-heard-of transaction. At noon today there appeared on the receiving field of this world a strange Melchizedek son, not of our number, but wholly like our order. He was accompanied by a solitary Omniafem, who bore credentials from Uversa and presented orders addressed to our chief, derived from the Ancients of Days, and concurred in by Emmanuel of Salvington, directing that this new Melchizedek son be received into our order and assigned to the emergency service of the Melchizedeks of Nebadon. And it has been so ordered. It has been done. And this is about all that appears on the records of Salvington regarding the first Michael bestowal. Nothing more appears until after 100 years of Urantia time, when there was recorded the fact of Michael's return and unannounced resumption of the direction of universe affairs. But a strange record is to be found on the Melchizedek world, a recital of the service of this unique Melchizedek son of the emergency corps of that age. This record is preserved in a simple temple which now occupies the foreground of the home of the Father Melchizedek, and it comprises the narration of the service of this transitory Melchizedek son in connection with his assignment to 24 missions of a universe emergency. And this record, which I have so recently reviewed, ends thus. And at noon on this day, without previous announcement, and witnessed by only 3 of our brotherhood, this visiting son of our order disappeared from our world as he came, accompanied only by a solitary Omniafem. And this record is now closed with the certification that this visitor lived as a Melchizedek in the likeness of a Melchizedek. He worked as a Melchizedek, and he faithfully performed all of his assignments as an emergency son of our order. By universal consent he has become chief of Melchizedeks, having earned our love and adoration by his matchless wisdom, supreme love, and superb devotion to duty. He loved us, understood us, and served with us, and forever we are his loyal and devoted fellow Melchizedeks. For this stranger on our world has now eternally become a universe minister of Melchizedek nature. And that is all I am permitted to tell you of the first bestowal of Michael. We, of course, fully understand that this strange Melchizedek, who so mysteriously served with the Melchizedeks 1 billion years ago, was none other than the incarnated Michael on the mission of his first bestowal. The records do not so specifically state that this unique and efficient Melchizedek was Michael, but it is universally